Love it. I love it. Very nice. Very nice. GloucesterCast 352. We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 of us here today.
And Judy is with us. Judy Cavagnaro Middleness.
Oh, tell her I said hi.
Hey, Judy.
I think you just did, Joe.
Yeah.
Joe, you look tired.
I'm tired. Did you tell everybody why I'm tired?
I didn't tell them yet, no.
So last night we at 6 o'clock we took off to go. We were going to go to the market in Lobster Cove.
Yeah, in Annisquam. Right?
In Annisquam,
yeah.
on Chris's boat.
Right. Oh, did you have a reservation and all that?
No, we didn't have a reservation.
We thought Joe would have some pull there, but
apparently they don't like it when I call short and pretentious.
Oh,
So it's the same owners. I mean, short and main. So I got no juice there. I should know. I wore my sunglasses when I went in there because I figured if I go in incognito, maybe they wouldn't realize it was
Some
me.
of us are crazy about short and main.
I love short and main. That's part of the joke, though. Okay. The only thing that's funny about short and main that we always make fun of is the pretentious bartender that has the handlebar mustache and he shakes it like this. And he's so... No, we love it. The drinks are fabulous. The oysters, you can't beat that oyster deal. The pizzas are phenomenal. The sardines that you get at the bar, it's a great take. If you go to Short and Main,
it's Charlotte's favorite restaurant. She says, let's go to at 2 years old. Short and Main. I want to go to Short and Main for dinner tonight. The pizza.
Joey really wants to get into the market. That's all I can say right now.
we were banking on the fact that there would be some stools at the bar.
Stools at the bar. Yeah.
So we could. They said it would be about a half-hour wait. We could have waited there, but we also had in our heads because I'd never been to Riverbend in Essex. Well, it was a beautiful night. Let's take the ride up to Essex River,
which I had never done before.
Right.
Oh, that sounds like a great idea.
He had never.
Night,
it's easy. No, it's easy when the sun's still up.
Right.
But when you're hanging out with Joe and he drinks as much as he drinks, we didn't leave there until 9:30.
We left there at 9:30. But
no, 9 o'clock. 9 o'clock.
And we got back around 11:15.
Yeah.
I had to get up at 3:30 because it's dark.
Right.
It's very dark.
It's dark.
And Chris's front light wasn't working. So we're navigating by cell phone camera lights. The two girls are like this the whole
reflection
time
on
of
the
front, like this. And so we had to creep along. Chris is I will give Chris credit.
Right.
He is a very cautious driver. He doesn't drive. Some people drive like jerks.
Right.
He doesn't drive like a jerk.
That's super smart that you crept along.
So we crept along, and we were partially aided by the fireworks in Essex. Going off behind us.
We were going to stop and say, we stopped and we were going to watch the fireworks. We're like, well, that's giving off a lot of light. We should take advantage of the light. Let's get out of here.
Right. So then Chris used, which is really, this is something that's in the show notes actually, to talk about this app that he has. It's called Navionics. Navionics. On your cell phone, it's basically a GPS for the water with water depths. It has all the charts, live GPS charts for your cell phone, and it's free.
While you're traveling.
Right? So I'm looking at the phone saying a little to the left, a little to the right, stay the course, and he's got the wheel like this, because he's really looking for
I was looking for buoys, lobster traps,
buoys, anything, right? But this really kept us in the channel because that Essex River, it's pretty narrow, and it's bent, windy and stuff. Yeah. So it was a total adventure. By the last hour of the night, the girls were huddled in the bow, wrapped up in blankets in fetal position, the two of them. And they left it up to us.
You got to post that picture, Joe.
Okay, I thought they said don't post it.
What does that mean?
So they look like two chrysalids. They look like two chrysalids. Is what they look like. But we go home, and so we're both like. So Chris is like, well, note to self, let's not do that again.
Note to self, when I call you saying, hey, you want to go down the Essex River tonight? Say, Chris, that's a stupid idea.
But then we both agreed that it was an adventure that we had never done before, and now we can check that off our list.
You can check it.
Was that actually ever on your list?
I
Well, going to the
Now
That's a
you'll have
valid
lights,
question.
right? Now you'll get new lights.
going to
But
river
he says
bends.
tonight. He said he ordered a light,
Yeah.
and he's getting.
Yeah,
a
it would
spotlight.
have been a lot easier had we had like one of those big,
Spotlights.
spotlights.
So how was dinner at Riverbend?
It was interesting. So the space is gorgeous. The space reminds me of like they took like a Vermont A-frame ski lodge and plunked it down on the Essex River. We got there and there was probably about 7 open tables, and they said we can't seat you yet because the kitchen's backed up. To which Chris replies, "Well, can we drink at the tables?" And so they agreed to let us drink at the table. So we're having a few cocktails, and then we put in our orders, and everything we got was fantastic. Yeah, it was great.
They have fried artichokes.
Yes.
Yes.
Incredible.
Yes.
Oh my
Yeah,
God.
those
Yes,
are incredible.
definitely a must try.
Yeah.
I would say.
And so does Frank McCullough still own it? The guy who used to own, there's a different owners now.
He
I
was
think
a
it's a
partner.
husband and wife.
It's a husband and wife.
Different
you know.
owners.
Yeah,
Yeah.
he was a partner originally, and I don't think he's involved anymore. But I'm not
Okay.
sure.
Okay.
Yeah, I had heard because the pizza we ordered pizza.
Yeah.
I think that's their specialty.
Right.
But I had heard that the chef used to work at
Flatbread Pizza Company.
Pizza Company.
Okay.
So when the pizzas come out, you get it. It looks sort of feels the same as
That
a pizza
feeling.
that you might get at
Flatbread.
Yeah.
Flatbread.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's like a thin crust I've had. That was
Yeah,
good.
thin
Really
crust.
good.
Very
Really
good.
good.
Very
Yeah,
good.
it's very good.
Quality ingredients.
Yeah.
It was good. But Joe, as we were heading out of the river, one thing we were amazed at when we pulled into my dock was, what did we see? One boat? The entire 2 boats?
1 or 2 boats
The entire
on the river,
like 2
from
hour
leaving
ride
Essex
back.
River all the way up the river to where he lived. His
Really?
Yeah. So I'm like,
Like,
I'm like,
are
should
we?
should-
Maybe we really
Maybe we
shouldn't
should
be
be
out
out
here. Maybe there's a reason people aren't out here on the Annisquam River at 10:30 at night.
And then what was amazing is when we turned south in the distance, there was a beautiful lightning show.
Yeah.
And Joe looked at
I
his.
saw that coming home
Yeah.
last night from.
That was down on the South Shore.
That was on the
South
Shore.
But it was lighting up the sky. It was like fire. It was actually pretty than the actual fireworks.
So I was on 128 coming towards Gloucester at about 8 o'clock at night, and I could see lightning over Gloucester. So it was beautiful. It was beautiful.
Yeah.
But when I got to Gloucester, there was no rain or anything, so I don't know.
And I
where
was
it
so excited when we pulled in because I was a little stressed out.
Yeah.
So I was so excited. So this morning, the first second I opened my eyes, I'm like, oh no. I left my engine down.
He's
in
supposed
my,
to put it up because he has
my
a
dock
mud mooring.
is a mud mooring.
Oh,
I'm
no.
like, oh my god, my motor's probably snapped in half. But it got me here. I looked at it this morning. I pulled it up and everything
okay?
looked fine.
Yeah.
But I was
Gee,
like, we were so successful, and we were high fiving each other
Yeah.
to find out that
You
We survived.
You were
Yeah.
having every boat escapade adventure that
Yeah.
you can have it.
Yeah.
It's really making me rethink. I have like anxiety because so I have this thing. I want to get a boat. I want to get a little boat for the family. But like seeing what he goes through and stuff like that, I'm filled with anxiety. Like this push and pull. Do I want a boat? Do I not want a boat?
Yeah, but it adds to life's memories.
It is spicy. It is very spicy. We're here to talk about the Magnolia Road Race. Randy's been. This is like probably the 9th year he's been in here plugging the road
Something
race.
like that, yeah.
And so, what are the details this year, Rand? Oh, nice!
Look at this.
Wyatt,
So-
nice job.
Wyatt.
Show it to the screen right there, Wyatt.
Right here.
Good job,
There
bud.
you go. Well done.
So I brought along Wyatt because he, in the history of the Magnolia Road Race, no one has a higher percentage of road races participated in per years on the planet as Wyatt. So Wyatt just turned 9 years old, and this will be the 10th road race that he has participated in.
Wow.
Very nice. Very nice.
He doesn't even know this.
He doesn't even.
When he was, because he was born in July, and so when he was probably a month and a half old, I put him in I put him in the stroller and ran the 5K, which now that I look back on it was really stupid.
That's great because I'm 52 and I've run in 0.
Hey, so you guys got to have something in common.
I'm gonna catch up to you.
All right, so we're it's the what year is it this year, Wyatt?
43rd.
43rd running of Magnolia Road
Nice.
You've been running all
Jeez, I
those
could've been
years.
All those years.
Yeah, 43 in a row.
You're gonna take the first 10 years off.
Joe could have pushed me in the stroller.
There's still time for that.
Put a little pinky in your mouth.
Anyway, so it's 2 weeks from today. It's on August 24th. The race starts at 8:30. We have a 1K fun run for the kids, and the fun run. All the races start and end at the Magnolia Library, 1 Lexington Ave, Magnolia, Mass. The kids run really just goes down the hill to Magnolia Square, out on Shore Road along the water.
Beautiful
up Hesper's
course.
Ave Hill,
Beautiful.
and
One
then
of the-
Lexington Ave to the finish line.
One of the prettiest courses, road races on Cape Ann.
Yeah,
But
thanks.
anywhere really. I mean,
Are there any hills?
There are definitely some hills.
Oh no.
What color are the shirts this year?
Trains.
You know what? I don't know yet because I'm actually in negotiation with the shirts as we speak. So I got to figure out what they have.
Interesting.
So I don't know what the shirts are yet.
Interesting.
Um,
I'm surprised you came to the podcast not knowing that. Knowing that that's
knowing that's a big.
that's the
thing.
only thing that I care about with these races is
Well,
like
we're-
what the
we're-
shirts are going to look like.
We're not going back to the cotton.
Oh, nice. Dry fit.
What color would you like, Joe?
And Joe, I can still put in.
I'm a simple guy. White for races. I think white makes sense because they're going to be in the hot sun, so white
Yeah.
makes sense.
I know,
But
so
you know,
to go
any,
with the new koozies would be nice.
the nice hey, I like how you brought that up. Man. I
You like
it.
how you got
we'll,
that in
we'll
there?
get we'll get around to the koozies.
So I think we might be going with a dark color.
yeah.
And
Oh God.
I'm not sure yet.
Yeah.
Actually, that's one of our errands today. Is we have to go over to Sundance, who does our. She's been doing our shirts for a number of years.
Where is she located?
He's down
Oh,
on
he.
what's the street that the Times is on?
Oh,
Whittemore?
Whittemore Street. Yeah.
there you go.
Oh, the old like Chisholm and Hunt? Or?
Yeah, right in one of those buildings. So he's been Alan's been doing our shirts. He does a great job. So shout out to Sundance
There you
Prince.
go. So are there 2 races, one for the kids and one
One
for
for the kids. We get the 5K race that starts at 9:15, and it's a similar course. It goes down all around Shore Road, comes back up. It does a second loop on Magnolia Ave. So we try to maximize as much as we can how much we're on the ocean.
Yeah.
And that's big. And one thing that I anybody who hasn't been in Magnolia recently, but has been in Magnolia not so recently, is that Shore Road traditionally has been an absolute mess. It's been like horrible potholes. It's a private road, so some of the residents who own part of the road are happy to keep the road up, and some of them are not.
Oh, gotcha. Yeah.
And through a lot of work with the community, including the Magnolia Library, we were able to negotiate with the neighbors and kicked in some of the community money to actually pave a good chunk of Shore Road. So it's beautiful right now.
What's the website? If people can people register online? Or
Yeah, of course.
What is
it's magnolialibrary.org. It's as simple as that, and that will bring you to the registration page. We are always looking for more sponsors. We got our great sponsors led by the Cape Ann Savings Bank that have been sponsoring the race forever, and it just
Bob
so
Gillis.
unbelievably
Bob
supportive.
Gillis.
Yeah.
Bob Gillis is the man. I even wore Bob, if you're on, my Mount Washington road race hat, because Bob has run that race forever.
Beast mode.
And actually runs it, which the times I've done it is almost impossible to do. It's the hardest.
You have
race
done
I've
it?
I've done it, 3 times with Bob's help.
Is it
Come on
easier
now.
going up or easier going down?
Well, it's only up. It's only up.
Oh, it's only up.
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
Yeah. So the joke is, it's 7 miles and there's only 1 hill.
Yeah. Oh, God. That is rough.
But so we've got other sponsors as well that have been super supportive. The local Union Congregational Church is super supportive. 525. Wyatt and I had dinner there last night. Great place on Lexington Ave, right on the course.
What's your favorite thing for dinner there?
Why? What did you have last night? 525.
Cheeseburger. Yum.
Cheeseburger. Yep. So yep. And I had the baked haddock, which was very good.
Oh, my husband would love
And
that.
they've got a bunch of specialty cocktails that my wife likes. I usually just stick to the Fisherman's Brew, but it's great, and you always see some people in there that you know. It's a great neighborhood restaurant. So we're super grateful to all of our sponsors, and it's a USATF sanctioned course. I should also mention that when people say, "Well, I don't know, I don't like to run," and then I ask them the question, "Well, do you like pancakes?" And there's not too many people that I've run across that have said, "I do not like pancakes and I do not like to run." So those people I have, just you don't need to come to Magnolia. But if either you like to run or you like pancakes, we have a pancake breakfast going on.
So you had you had a circle here, then you had a circle here, and and the concentric circles, even though they don't overlap, you pretty much cover a whole wide gamut there.
It's like when Ali G said people like gloves and people like ice cream, so if I could create a glove that you wear when you're eating ice cream, I could get 1 gazillion billion people.
There you go. Concentric circles.
It's amazing. So we have free T-shirts that we were talking about earlier. First 100 entries.
So here's your insider tip.
Right.
Because you're listening to this podcast,
Yes.
and you know that we're going to tell you www.magnolialibrary.org. You go there. If you're one of the first 100, you get the T-shirt. So
Okay.
don't be lazy.
Don't be late.
Jim is chiming in. I'm sure he's signing up right now.
And we still have shirts left.
There you go.
We still have shirts left. No extra fees to sign online. So some people, they trick you, they bring you in, they say it's X amount of dollars. It's $25 for the 5K, $10 for the kids race. Kids race, the pancakes are part of the registration.
Ooh.
Yes.
Wow.
Get them pancakes, boy.
So the pancake breakfast happens first, and then the road race.
The pancake breakfast happens all during the course of the morning.
Just
So
come down, and hang out.
we've got great volunteers. We still need more. So if anybody wants to
What's the
volunteer.
date of this?
What's that?
What's the date?
It's the 24th. It's 2 weeks from today.
August 24th.
August 24th, 2 weeks from today. Kids race 8:30. The 5K is at 9:15. North Shore Timing sets up all the timing, so it's chip timed.
Awesome.
We have age group winners and prizes. We have cash prizes for the men and women's winners.
Amazing.
So
Can you give me a status on the Magnolia Pier?
Sure. This is what I know. We've had great community support for the pier, led by Ted Costa, who's just done a great job of really owning this and working with the city to try to get the funding. So from what I understand, and Ted, if you're listening, forgive me if I got any of these stats wrong, because I'm really just talking off the top of my head.
We appreciate it.
Is that we have the funding. We had 2 fundraisers. We had one that was late last summer at the Manchester Bath and Tennis Club that was super successful. And from what I think Ted told me this, was that when we were planning the second one, he got a lot of pushback from a lot of people saying, well, if you have a second fundraiser so close to the first one, you're not going to get the kind of crowds. People feel like they're already tapped out. What I think the skeptics didn't realize is that people want to do these fundraisers not only to raise money for the pier, but because it's a lot of fun.
Yeah.
And they want to hang out with their friends.
So last weekend we had an old style. When I was growing up, the Magnolia Lions used to have an auction down at Magnolia Landing, and it was super fun and super out of control. And I think that's one of the reasons why they finally ended it. But they decided they wanted to bring it back to raise money for the pier. And a whole bunch of us volunteered for it. My wife and I did the spin the wheel to win a bottle of wine, but we raised a boatload of money, and everybody had a blast, and it was just jammed.
That's awesome.
It was as big as it ever was when I was a kid.
Donna
Super amazing.
Artizzoni's been really following the progress of it and taking photos. So
I spoke to her the other day, and she said it was a great event, and they did very, very well.
yeah.
Yep. Dawn is great.
I see this.
Donna helps out with the race.
You know that the video, the viral video of the shark coming out of the water,
The
or the whale, and Rusty Shafford.
That was Doug Shack.
Doug Shafford got captured, and I guess he had prints made of the image, and he was selling it and donating the money towards the magnet. So this whole community, they're just like all in on getting this pier rebuilt.
So,
Like whatever.
Like, roughly, how much does it cost to
it's
have
probably-
a new
I-
pier? Like roughly.
Again, it's over $1 million. I heard it was like 1.3,
Wow.
and they were expecting the community. The city was like saying, "Look, we want to make sure the city that you guys really want
You have a
this."
stake in it.
Because I think if you don't live in Magnolia, you don't quite understand how much
No,
this
but-
is a pillar. I mean,
Yeah.
Wyatt here has basically learned how to swim by jumping off of that pier, and it's just central. And I grew up in Magnolia as well, and the pier back then was something that my parents absolutely did not want me to go down to. That's exactly what I did.
That's great.
And I think it's only been in the last 5 years I've actually jumped off the pier and my parents actually watched me do it. So. But it's a great place where people meet, and the fact that it was basically condemned after the last storm. It wasn't the last storm that did it in, but it was always a patchwork after that. And then I think like someone from the Army Corps of Engineers came down and said, like the pilot
more.
was, it was. I was told that some of the pier was built in the 30s, and then some of it was rebuilt after the storm of '69. So it was old.
Well, the last couple of years, the last 10 years or so, like a lot of these structures have been getting smoked. Like Good Harbor Beach has gone a couple of times. The footbridge has gotten wiped out a couple of times.
Those 4 nor'easters that we had in March last year.
Yeah.
And it's not going to get better.
Yeah.
So
No.
I think we're all pretty excited that we're going to have a pier down there that, should outlive all of us.
Yeah.
And,
That's
as
great.
weather changes, that it's built to withstand that. So
Very cool.
to at least some extent. So no, we're all pretty excited. But yeah, last week's event was just incredible.
That's
we just
awesome.
had such great turnout. So we're hoping that we get the turnout for the race in a couple weeks as well. So if
There you go.
you don't want to run, come down and watch. We usually blast some good music, and you'll see a lot
Awesome.
of people down there, and it's just a real blast.
Randy, thanks for coming, man.
Speaking of road racing and runners, I hear Rosie Ruiz passed.
God rest her.
Recently, God rest her soul.
Did she pass?
She
Yeah.
passed.
Yeah, the other day.
Yeah.
And still on her deathbed, she said, "I did not cheat. I did not jump over."
It's on the gravestone.
That's on the gravestone. Yes. So, Rosie, peace out.
Peace out to Rosie.
I was actually there for that.
Oh, were you there?
Yeah.
Were you running with her?
Yeah, my uncle took me when I was like 14,
Oh, man.
and I still remember my uncle, Pete's dad. He's like, who's that runner that's going by me?
Yeah.
And I get on the globe, and I'm like, and I remember distinctly saying, I had a Rosie Ruiz or something.
Ruins, yeah. Pay no attention to those pictures of her on the MBTA during the race.
Like crossed.
Yeah, I may jump over the rope for this one.
All right, cool.
Just a half a K. Can I do a half a K?
Let's be honest, you just want the
And so-
pancakes.
and
Now
so
you could
it'll
sign
be
up
He just wants the
that you
pancakes.
cheated some 8-year-old kid out of his.
Sign up for the kids' race.
Started the kids' race, yes.
I'll join the
I
special
want
K.
to introduce you guys. My friend, the Zogas family is here.
Zogas.
Hey.
They, all the way from upstate New York. They're part of the Weber Kettle Club Mafia.
Oh,
Yeah, he's one of he's one of my internal Weber people that can only understand
the only
depths.
follower?
The
only
depths.
follower that you have?
No, Weber Kettle Club. Weber Kettle Club is like a national.
Oh, the national, yeah.
So you guys will be speaking in tongues soon.
Yeah.
No one's gonna know anything. We're talking about there's gonna be a lot of acronyms that no one's gonna know. There's gonna be
I like pancakes and she likes to run, so.
That's my language.
Yeah, but he came up. They have to do something on the other Cape, the bad Cape.
Bad kid.
And, so they swung through here first, and they're not going to have any traffic going down there at all on Saturday morning.
We're going to take the ferry. Isn't there a ferry? we can do?
Take the bridge.
Oh, the bridge.
Yeah, it's very
Take
easy.
the bridge.
Take a right and a left.
Jump on a lobster boat from there.
Lars Christmas boat.
sure you're in before dusk.
Alex has quite a collection.
Wait
of
until
Weber
noon
grills.
before you leave.
Yeah.
Wait until noon.
Yeah.
Have
Actually, the
lunch in Gloucester.
You probably get there the same time if you leave at noon as if you leave right now.
Okay, we don't have to wait until 6 p.m. anyways.
Yeah.
Oh, you're good then.
Okay.
Yeah, you're good then. But Alex has an extensive collection of Weber grills, and
Wow.
so can you? We're gonna be very brief. I won't beat everybody to death with this, but can you? What was it that made you start collecting Weber grills and have an appreciation for Weber grills? Like, and can you explain what you think other aficionados, like myself and Craig Kimberly,
and me.
and he has one too. Yeah. What is it? What is it about him for you?
So I went to a barbecue where my coworker, he had a Weber kettle, and then 3 of his friends brought their Weber kettles, and the meat was the best meat I'd ever tasted, and there was no way I could reproduce that taste on
On a
my
gas grill.
my gas grill. And I thought of myself as a great barbecuer on my gas grill.
Yeah.
That's funny.
So I bought a Weber kettle, and then I made friends with a guy who had a collection of Weber kettles, and he sold me my yellow one. And then I got the bug because I saw all the cool colors.
The cast is here.
Oh, is that the cast?
Jim says welcome New Yorkers, and he's wondering
Tell him
if
we'll
you're
be with
Mets
him in a little bit.
fans.
He wants to know if you. So you
Not
Mets
Yankee
fans?
fans.
No. So who do you root for?
I think baseball sucks, but I'm a Broncos fan.
Oh, wow.
Broncos.
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah, I know I'm in the wrong place for that too.
No, as long as we keep winning, you're in the absolute
Yes.
Always, John.
As long as we keep beating up on you guys.
But it's funny, that's the same way I got involved. I mean, I was always a propane barbecue guy, maybe not a huge cooker like yourself.
Yeah.
When I moved up here and started eating Joe's food off the Weber, I'm like, this is stupid. And I always thought, I mean, again, for those of you who stay away from charcoal because you think it's hard to start,
Right.
and then, I always grew up whenever someone was using charcoal, all you would taste
That
is
lighter
the
fluid.
lighter fluid.
Yeah.
I'm like, this is horrible.
Right.
But, the chimney, you don't use any lighter fluid.
Right.
Yeah.
And once you get those things started, after 3 minutes, you're golden.
You know something? I think that Weber or barbecue companies in general could do themselves a huge service by doing a promotional videos, commercials saying this is how easy it is to start your charcoal. Just to explain what a chimney is.
Right.
Yeah.
I bet you that is. I bet you. I'm going to say 75% of people in the United States don't even know what a charcoal starter is, chimney is.
Yeah.
Would you agree with that?
True story.
Yeah.
As a common myth, everyone says that.
Because when you
just
do
went down
propane,
by 1.
what's that?
I said that number just went down by 1.
Oh, you didn't know what one is either.
Yeah.
See, that's a crazy thing.
Yeah.
It's
It's the
amazing.
same amount of time you take to preheat your gas grill.
Right.
It's
Yeah.
like that chimney of charcoal.
Yeah.
And it's more fun and it smells better.
Yeah.
Yeah. We use these little paraffin. So they sell these little paraffin wax cubes, and you buy them on sale, and you get them from. They cost like
It was
$12.
on $3. No, actually, I bought one package.
Of Foster's, they're like $5 for a package,
Foster's, yeah.
right? And you can get them.
Foster's.
Foster's. You can get them. They cost like 15 cents a starter cube, right?
Yeah.
You put it right down on your grate. You have the chimney is a cylinder basically, and it creates a vortex. Air sucks up through it. You light the thing, put the thing on, fill the thing with charcoal. You're ready to cook in 12 minutes.
Yeah.
Right. And every time I started my propane grill, I would get it on high. I'd start it. I'd go inside, and I'd wait like 12 minutes before I start cooking for the thing to come up to temp. So.
Well, Joe and I were close to death last night. We both get a text from my son, Brendan, 25-year-old son, who's using my Weber to
the performer.
smoke wings. He dry rubbed them with some sort of dry rub, and then smoked
I
them.
sold him my blue performer, my dream grill that I assembled with the wood handle, metal
Dream
table, blue. It's
The
like
thing's falling apart.
oh stop.
Yeah, it's my dream
I'll
grill.
gladly buy it back. So don't.
400.
Yeah.
Hey, Joe.
Yeah, he's not. Look, he wasn't.
He wasn't.
He can dish it out worse than anybody in this room.
Yeah, there you go. So yeah, no, I'm glad you guys came. So they ate. They had a big up Craig's neighborhood. They have a big hill crawl. They call it. They go from house to house to house. It's not the kind of parties that you have with the pineapples that are upside down, Chris. It's a different.
Well, the ones that you join in on.
It's no.
How do you know about those?
It's a different kind of party, Chris. Okay.
Upside down pineapple.
Upside down pineapple.
Ask
So
Jimmy. Jimmy knows what that is.
so wait, no, Pat. This is one of Pat's topics.
Yes, this came up this week actually, asking me. One of my sisters asked me, did I know anything about pineapples being what kind of symbol? What do pineapples symbolize? And besides welcome and
That's
hospitality.
what I thought.
Well, apparently it's more than that.
Well, if you tip it over.
Is this my cue to get my
Yeah,
boy out of
yeah.
here?
Yeah. It might be a good time. It might be a good time.
All right, well, thank you.
Randy,
Okay.
Wyatt.
Right.
Hey, thanks for coming in,
Probably
bud.
won't be seeing
Good
you
luck
in
in the
5
race,
days.
buddy.
Maybe the
Good luck.
pancakes. Yeah. Maybe I'll
Take
cook.
care.
Joe, we
Man.
should volunteer and cook
Bye-bye.
the pancakes.
When is it on a Saturday?
Yeah.
We'll see you, bud. We'll see you. Alex, do you guys sit down right over there?
No, so it's when you turn the pineapple upside down, where it's hospitality, but come into my house and show me
Hospitality.
your hospitality.
Yeah.
If you know what I mean.
So,
So.
what alarmed me a bit. that-
Kim's
because
confused.
This was also news to me.
The upside down pineapple is for swingers. If you put the upside down pineapple outside, that means
If you two want to go, you can. Or purple doors.
You never heard of the purple door or the upside down pineapple?
So you hang upon it. You put it.
You put the pineapple upside down. That's the symbol that we're ready to rock over here.
Just anybody can come to your house and
Well,
have
other people
expectations.
who like upside down pineapples.
This is what I got this morning. This is what I got from the grocery store this morning.
Oh wait, who is it? She's holding it upside down.
Oh, who is that?
That is my brother-in-law.
Oh, he's ready.
That's creepy. I'm just gonna say that's a little creepy.
Direct from the grocery store.
Another upstate New York person right
Yeah.
there.
The
Would you
direct
wait, Pat?
issue.
Would you call yourself upstate New York or
Yes.
Western
and
New York?
Anybody who doesn't live
We're here.
downstate is upstate.
Was
Basically,
it Binghamton?
Binghamton.
Yeah, I met you guys on Delaney last year.
Oh,
Yeah.
yeah. Well, my husband maybe. Because,
Oh, yes,
yeah,
awesome.
it was my first ride recently on the landing, but
Right.
Jim took a ride.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What part of
And he's
New York?
online here,
We're near
so.
Albany, okay. I was in Mount Kisco yesterday.
I heard of
And it
that.
took me about it's on Connecticut, New York, over the Tappan Zee.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. But how did you guys leave yesterday?
Yeah.
Yeah. How long did it take you to?
About 4 hours.
Which is that typical? Or is that about an hour?
I think we can make it here in 3.5
Three.
with no
Okay.
traffic.
It took me 5,
Yeah.
which it normally should have been 3.
So you know what tonight is?
What's tonight?
Tonight
The
is
bazaar.
Gloucester Block
Block
Party.
parties. Yeah.
Downtown Gloucester Block
Wait.
Party.
Yeah.
Can't wait.
Breaking news. Charleen Delaney, a representative of the
Charleen,
Cape
here we
Ann
go,
Chamber of
Charleen.
Commerce is here.
I heard you're walking like a tightrope or something.
It's from the bank, one bank to the other bank, and you have the long pole, and you're going to walk across and do high wire act. Is that true?
Huh? No, that's not true. I am not doing that.
So
I'm supporting my whole job. One of my jobs at the Cape Ann Chamber is the license plate.
you don't want to talk about the block party?
Yes, I can talk about the block party. The block party's going to be a lot of fun tonight. It's like we have 3 stages. There's a stage in the West End. There's a stage in the Cape Ann Bank stage, and then there's a stage up by Bank Gloucester. But this year, this block party, we're starting a new tradition. There's going to be
Wait, stop. I got to do a drum roll because this is big.
It's
The
big.
new tradition,
New
this
tradition.
block party tonight, ready?
is a beer garden.
Whoa! Jeez Louise.
Yeah.
I'm surprised.
So everybody should come out for this because this was hard to get approved and all, you know.
Yeah, I'm surprised.
So where is it going to be located?
In the parking lot of Bank Gloucester. That's gonna be all
Oh, nice.
wrapped up.
Who's sponsoring?
Yes.
What kind of beers? Is it gonna be
You had to
campaign?
ask her.
I have
You had to
asked
ask her.
because
You had to ask her.
because it's one of the breweries. I think it might be Ipswich Brewery, but I'm not.
Ipswich. Cape Ann must be upset. I hope Cape Ann's there. There goes everybody. Joe's leaving.
I'll be back. I got business to
So
take care of. We'll
disruptive.
be right back.
So disruptive.
So, but it's going to be a lot of fun, and I hope everybody will come out tonight because
It's gonna be a gorgeous night.
it's going to be a gorgeous night.
Yeah.
There's a lot of entertainment. There's all kinds of things. All the local dance groups and all dance on the street. There's tons of vendors. Most of the merchants along Main Street bring their stuff out onto the
It's always
street.
so much fun.
And it's a lot of fun. And
They probably
you
give
just-
discounts on their goods.
well, they all have specials on things.
Specials, yeah.
There's all kinds of things. People are walking up and down. We have, we're going to have, our table is going to be dedicated to the Cape Ann license plate. The reason it's dedicated to the Cape Ann license plate is we're getting ready to auction the last 60 low number plates from 2 to 100.
Oh.
So people don't have those numbers from
No,
Oh.
they were always, last year was the first auction, and we sold about 40 plates last year, including number 1. So,
And then you kept those other ones.
so
aside.
then we've always kept them aside from the very first, the first 100 plates we kept aside in order to auction them. That's the way it's been done everywhere. And so the auction this year is going to be from August 26th to September the 9th. It's an online auction.
Oh, okay.
And there's lots of great plates available. And tonight, if you come on the street, I'll be able to tell you what's available. And
What's the
You
web
can go
address
on.
for the online auction?
Huh?
Do you know? Do you happen
it's
to know?
bidding for good. And I'm going to put it on Good Morning
You're
Gloucester
gonna post
today,
it on Good Morning
so that you
Gloucester.
can link right to it and see which plates are still available.
Okay, perfect.
But there's going to be a kickoff for the online auction at Yella
Oh, perfect.
on Monday the 26th at 5 o'clock. And so we hope everybody will come down and see us
That sounds
and
exciting.
celebrate.
That's a
Last
great-
year we had the kickoff at the Drift, and it's a lot of fun.
Yeah, that's a great way to
And,
kick it off.
And so a lot of the nonprofits will be there because the nonprofits are mostly our partners, because the proceeds from the license plate, a lot of people don't understand it. It's another thing that people don't understand. $40 every 2 years when you renew your license plate and when you first get your license plate comes back to the Cape Ann Community Foundation.
Oh, that's a
And
good
we
point
give
to
it
make,
out
yeah.
in forms of grants to nonprofits and education initiatives.
Okay.
And in the last 3 years, we've given out $39,000 to that made a big difference. And we've been
Oh, yeah.
pasting a lot on Facebook about what difference it's made. One of the recipients I just posted yesterday was Cape Ann Art Haven, and they've taken their money and with
Oh, they
other
do wonderful
donations
things.
have been able to increase the number of scholarships they give to 1/2 of all the students get a scholarship now
Oh, that's tremendous.
for Art Haven.
Yeah, that's tremendous.
And it makes a difference to the community, all this money. I would like to mention that the oldest specialty plate is the Cape and the Islands plate for Cape Cod, and they get over $1 million a year from their plate.
Wow.
And everybody gets money. Everybody gets money. They have trouble giving their money away. It's so much
Wow.
money they have to give.
Wow.
So
That's
if
amazing.
the more plates we get on the road, the more money we get
So
into our
how many
fund.
plates do we have on the road about?
So now we have about 1,500, but we need about 1,500 more to meet our bond.
Okay.
So when you first get a specialty plate, you have to put up a bond with the state so they produce the plates. Every registry has the plates. You only have to go to lovecapon.com and you can order the plate online. It comes to you in 8 to 10 days with the registration, with the sticker. You don't have to turn in your old plate. You just throw it out. Your new plate is right there. You have no interaction with the registry at all.
Oh, you
Sounds
can say
great.
that like it's a bonus selling point.
It is a bonus selling point. Because people said when we first sold the first 1,000 plates, everybody had to go to the registry to pick their plates up, and it was really difficult. And it was.
So this is a little bit of a change.
So now they send them to you in the mail, and you get them in 8 to 10 days, and it's a great plate.
Yeah.
It represents all the 4 communities of Cape Ann.
So there's Gloucester, Essex,
There's Gloucester, Essex, Manchester,
and Rockport.
and Rockport.
Yeah,
So
very
all the
Hawaii.
4.
Isn't that Hawaii?
Hawaii. No. So it's really a worthwhile cause, and it supports your community and it shows your love. And if you look around right now, I see them all the time. I drive down the highway every day, and I must see 5 or 6 plates going down the highway. You know, it's really nice to see the plates. So if you don't have a Cape Ann plate, go to lovecapeann.com and get one, or come on to the auction.
Come on
And have a little
bid on the
competition
auction.
with your friends too. Like
Yes.
I know Joe has what 111.
Joe has 111.
So
when
I want to compete with him.
Yeah, what
do you
I want
have?
to go with
He's
112. So
You
I
don't have one yet?
he doesn't have one
Or
yet, but he's
110.
going to go in. He's going to try to get the
The
100
one I
plate.
want, I can't get. I want 143, 1430.
Good
But actually,
excuse.
4-3 I told you is available.
43 is available. Right. Oh, that's right. So I'm
4-3, so
looking at
you could get 4-3.
Yeah.
But it's if you the people that last year one of my real estate clients bought 3 plates
Yeah.
for all his cars.
Oh, that's
So
great.
and he paid quite a bit of money for
Yeah,
3 plates, like about
He got 1 and 2,
$30,000.
right? He got 1 and 2.
Yeah.
So why do you
So-
want 43? Because we're latitude 43, or what? We're at
So I wasn't
latitude
thinking
43.
Yes,
So-
we are latitude
Yeah, I know,
43.
actually,
See, you
that's
could
not
get that
bad.
42, the 43.
Watch out.
You
Mark
would still be
McDonald
better
want it
than
now.
Joey.
Yeah, but it's out there live, so probably people are
Yeah.
going online right now.
Yeah.
As
Mark
No.
McDonald's
Oh,
going
that's
right
good.
now.
No,
That's
you
rock and
can't.
roll.
You can't bid until the 26th. It goes live on the 26th.
Alrighty.
You can see what plates are available right now, but you can't.
Can you
bid
see who you're
until-
bidding against?
You'll
the
be
names?
able to see. You
No,
won't
the
be able to
names?
see who you're bidding against,
Oh, I
but
think you
you'll
should put
be.
the names on there. That'd even be more incentive.
But so he wants to have a lower plate than Joey's plate.
Yes. And I will have a lower plate than Joe's.
You will, one way or the other.
One way or the other.
Very good.
So we hope that everybody will come out and support the plate and
Great.
come out tonight.
Come out
We're
tonight
doing
to the
fun
block party.
things. We're doing the license plate is doing a fun thing for kids. We have cake, and Art Haven made a thing that kids can put their face through, and they look like a mermaid and driving a car with the plate
And
on
you'll
it.
be where will you be? Where
In
will
front
the
of the
chamber
Cape
be?
Ann Savings Bank.
chamber will be in front.
And
of
we're
Cape Ann
also, thanks to Addison Gilbert Hospital, we're giving out little light sticks tonight to all the kids.
You
too.
You
Good.
can-
Good.
Can adults put their face in the mermaid?
Yes, everybody can.
And then they have pies to throw at you.
Yeah.
From Cape Ann, they
You
have
need-
pies to
You need a
throw
clown
at you.
to sit in the water.
So it'll be a lot of fun tonight. It's always a lot of fun. The kids are a lot of fun. It
Yep.
was at the last block party. The mayor was at my booth, and she said, a little girl comes up that she knew, and with her mother, and the little girl goes right over to the table and picks up this license plate off the table, and she says, "Oh, Mom, you should have one of these." And so the mayor got her picture taken, and she's been on Facebook over and over now
That's great.
with the little girl and the plate, because even children know that you should have one of these.
Well,
So
well,
show
while
your love.
While Joey's been downstairs, we had 2 new guests arrive. So just introduce yourselves.
And I have to kind of
You have to-
escape
okay.
now. I have to go open Maritime Gloucester.
We're gonna do a little bit of a
Yeah.
shift
Why don't you
here.
move there?
Yes, I have to go down to open Maritime
I want
Gloucester.
everybody's faces to be seen.
Oh, well,
Where are you going, Chris?
I'm going to see where Joe
Just,
is.
Oh,
yeah,
Go right here.
Well, I'll just pull another around.
so
we do it that way.
why don't you guys introduce yourselves?
Want to be on
Oh.
Facebook?
Hi, I'm Doug Bowen of Flint. And I'm Ames Adamson playing Ben Butler
And I'm playing Lieutenant Kelly, his adjutant.
at the Gloucester Stage Company's production of Ben Butler.
Ben Butler.
This is Ben Butler right here.
I can see.
I know.
I've seen all the photos, so it looks.
The morning Ben Butler.
Free coffee? Is there
Well,
coffee on that?
yeah, there is.
So is there?
No.
So, who wants to tell us a little bit about the play?
Me?
Yeah.
Me, not Ben Butler himself.
Well, you're marketing expert, so you should market.
Well, I mean, really, what is super special about this play is it's really Ben Butler is coming home because I know Ames has done the show 3 times.
This will be my 3rd time.
This is his 3rd time playing Ben Butler, but he's never played Ben Butler where Ben Butler has actually lived and walked the streets.
So, where did it play previously?
Off Broadway.
Yeah, I originated the role in Long Branch, New Jersey, at the New Jersey Rep, seaside town, and then we did it off Broadway a couple of years ago, and it's been done in other cities. Sarasota, actually, the gentleman who's playing Shepard Mallory in the play played Shepard Mallory down at Florida Studio Theater in Sarasota, and with a friend of mine playing Ben Butler. So there's some. It's been all over the place.
Oh,
So.
it's just so interesting that it's finally here on Cape Ann.
Right. This is the Boston area premiere of the play, so it's never been seen in the Boston area.
No.
And Ben Butler.
Ben Butler.
There he is.
The Ben Butler. How you doing, Joey? Nice to meet you. Sorry for interrupting.
I got him, everybody.
All
Freaking
right.
sleeping.
I was sleeping underneath the tote. Underneath the fish tote. So tell me, where did you leave off?
I was kind of explaining about Ben Butler and who he is. And
Major General Benjamin Butler.
Yes, but did you know he was a settler of Lanesville?
No, I did not know.
Yes.
What year?
It was after the Civil War, and he was, he lived in Lowell, where he had a mill and law practice and everything like that, and he wanted to run for Congress, but there was no seat available, so he bought land in Bayview, put up a tent, and lived in the tent so that he could qualify to run for Congress, and that's where the Ames house
estate.
is. So.
Really?
The Ames estate.
Holy mackerel!
Yeah,
that's quite a
in
story.
Bayview.
So that was his property. He bought that property, that tract of land.
He was a settler. He settled it, and his relatives still live there, and quite a few of
Ames relative. So are you the Ben Butler's related to the Ames?
Yes, the Ames family. Adelbert Ames married Ben Butler's daughter Blanche, and that started this connection with the Ames family. So there's a gazillion Ameses.
Have you been to the property?
Not yet. No.
Oh,
We've had.
Wait, you play him and you haven't been to the property?
Well, one of the current homeowner said you must come, and I said sure. So I gave the phone number, but I just wait in here. I'm not going to knock on the door.
You can just drive in. I mean, the tract of land is vast. There's a dozen homes.
No, wait. Oh, wait, this is Annisquam. Wait, is it Annisquam or Lanesville?
Lanesville.
Okay, the Lanesville people will let you go there. The Annisquam people will not be happy if you walk on their property.
Hey, Lindsay Krause lives in Annisquam.
Yeah, but we mentioned the Lighthouse Beach, and they would get 10 comments from the people that say, "Don't talk about it. People can't just come here." Hey, I'll be right there. Yeah.
I don't walk on other people's property without their permission because I don't want anybody walking on my property. There's a karma.
It's beautiful. It's just an amazing piece of property, and there's about 10 family homes from different periods of time on the property. I mean, it's just exquisite, and I think they rent out a lot of the houses, but there's still some other family still owns at least a good part.
Well, they've been here, so they've been seeing this. There's been, a lot of Ames.
Have they come to the show?
Yeah.
They fill up a good chunk of one of the audiences. All of a sudden, it was a different kind of show where instead of telling a story, you're telling a family's history while they're receiving that history.
Right. And Butler ended up running for governor of Massachusetts.
Several times, but won once.
Yes.
And he appointed the first female executive, Claire Barton, right? To
What year was that, roughly? Late
I would guess
1880s.
1880s.
I think, yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. So Butler was, in his way, very progressive in a lot of ways.
He wrote the first Civil Rights Act in 1875 that stood until 1889.
And that brings us to the play, which is prior to him moving to Gloucester, but a moment in history. He was one of Abraham Lincoln's top generals. And and Abe installed him in Fort Monroe in Virginia. And it's the day, the play opens the day after Virginia seceded from the Union, right? It's the day after, And 4 escaped slaves, three. I knew when I said 4. 3 escaped slaves show up at Fort Monroe.
All of which is historically accurate.
Wow.
All
Seeking
happened.
sanctuary.
Wow.
Yes, seeking sanctuary. And one of them would like an audience to, I was going to say demands, but that's not the right word. When you see the play, you're like, an audience with Butler.
Okay. Oh,
And
very
you see the relationship grow, and you see these two characters kind of find common ground.
And this is based on the true story.
Yeah.
Part,
It's almost a footnote in history, and yet it's a really significant time in the early part of the war and for the history of the enslaved people of America for a couple of reasons. One is this year, the last week of August, is the 400th anniversary of the first African human beings landing in America to be slaves at the exact same place where these 3 fugitive slaves landed in Virginia.
That's extraordinary.
400 years. Incidentally, there is a commemoration at the end of the month at Fort Monroe, and they removed the name of Jefferson Davis from the park just
The day
outside.
after we opened.
Oh.
Yeah.
It's the day after.
But
tremendous.
that's one, and then 2, because of what Butler did at this juncture, it really was sort of the germ, the seed for the Emancipation Proclamation.
Wow.
And so it's a significant.
I mean, really, because Butler took the big risk, and he did it a number of times, because part of how he ended up in Fort Monroe is he took the big risk to quash the Confederate support in Baltimore, which got him in trouble in Baltimore and got him appointed to Fort Monroe.
Yeah.
And then he takes this big, really huge risk around these fugitive
With no
slaves.
permission. I mean, he just went and did it, which, well, as they say, it's better to ask for forgiveness than permission.
So you don't want to tell us what happens with the 3 slaves.
Come see it,
Come
but
see it.
it's a matter of public record, that's
Okay.
for sure.
Right.
What happened in actuality, as opposed to what happens on the stage, are completely different. A meeting was had between General Butler and a Major Carey from the Confederacy, at which point this amazing event happened, probably improvised.
Much of the dialogue is in the Ben Butler book, though.
Yeah.
Which is pretty remarkable, because it really
But-
feels like some very clever playwright came up with it, and it's actually what Ben Butler
Said.
said.
Wow.
Yeah.
But the actual event took place on horseback, and this takes place in an office inside the fort. So I just think having 2 horses on stage might have prevented
That would have
budget
been
for
different.
costume
Yeah.
and lighting.
Yeah.
Wow.
They would have swept up after they did it.
But,
Chris-
Staged
Chris-
by dogs.
really is a
Staged by horse.
remarkable event, and looking at race relations in the country now, and looking at what Butler did really, had an effect on history. And
That's fascinating.
Yeah.
It's right here in Gloucester in a tent.
yeah,
Right
yeah,
here.
he did that. He changed the course of race relations, and then he came to Gloucester and lived in a tent in Waynesville.
No, but he did it for a reason though, which is pretty. And I
Yeah,
wish.
and he was governor of Massachusetts.
I wonder when that property was. Like, is that still part of the same? Has that changed hands since?
I don't know.
You know what I mean? Is the
think
lineage?
It's
or-
had different named owners, but they're all been descendants of Ben Butler's
So it's still.
daughter and
What was
son-in-law,
when you said the name? What Ames was it?
Adelbert Ames.
Adelbert Ames.
or Adalbert, but
Okay.
Pat, this would be interesting stuff for you to.
I did do some research on Ben Butler in preparation for the play, and but I didn't get as far as in deep as what you're talking about. Mostly, he didn't sound like a man that was very popular.
he was with certain people.
Yeah.
He
He was-
sounded like kind of a son of a gun.
But he was really popular with the workers. Like he built his career working 18-hour days
Yeah.
for whatever workers could pay him. And finally, the management of the Lowell Mills said, "We would like to hire you and pay you more because you keep beating us in court."
Mhm.
So I mean, did all this workers' rights stuff. He did
Oh,
civil
that's
rights
excellent.
stuff. He did women's rights stuff. I mean, he really was way ahead of his
Yeah,
time.
he was a lawyer as well.
Mhm.
Yeah.
We went to Susan Lipset. Oh, she's not here this week. We
I
went
know.
to the.
It's a good thing she's not.
Why?
Oh well, talking about Southern things and how what she calls the Civil War, the Northern aggression. She calls
North
this.
Northern
Yeah.
She calls the Civil War the Northern
Well,
aggression.
Butler, and there's still, I think you can still get them at maybe auctions, but Butler's face, all throughout the South, especially like on the riverboats and things, Butler's face is at the bottom of all the chamber pots.
Oh, wow.
So that tells you how the South felt
What's
about.
Well, yeah, you can imagine.
You can
back
imagine,
then, right?
Yeah, yeah.
The,
Maybe what I was reading was from Southern Writers.
well, that's right. Yeah, I mean, it could have been, right?
Yeah,
So-
absolutely.
or it could have been
Absolutely.
from prejudiced Northerners.
Just
Not everyone from the North probably agree. You know,
Right.
was,
Well, there was
you
a
know.
big stretch from 1880 to 1920 where the South and its losing cause was glorified throughout America. I mean, you see it in films, you see it in politicians from that time, and you know, it took time for people to look back and say, maybe that's not worth glorifying.
Yeah, yeah. Well,
Right.
Yeah. General Lee said, don't glorify it,
Right.
but
Right.
it took time for everybody else
It's
to say.
taken over 100 years to start.
I
getting
mean, the
some of those
'70s, you know,
statues
like you know, like
down,
the
right,
people
that
that
were
like
during the
Archie
war.
Bunker was satirical, but there was a lot of people that didn't even take it that he was being satirical.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like, they were just, you know what I mean? Like,
Stephen Colbert, the Colbert Report, for everybody,
Yeah.
there was a whole contingent that thought he was
serious,
that
yeah,
who he was.
yeah, exactly.
Yeah. But that said, the play is really funny.
Oh, really?
Oh, it's
Yeah.
funny.
Yes.
So
It's
so
really-
the three people here, Kim, you sat right close to Chris for the last play.
Yeah, there was
couldn't
nothing
even
I
see
could
the
do
play.
about it.
Her
I'm
big
sorry.
poofy hair was in the way. You should have given
I'm
her
gonna
better
sit
seats
next
next
to
time.
you.
We were sold out. There was nothing I could do. Poor Kim. I said to her literally when she came, "I'm sorry."
Oh no.
That'd be right there, right there.
We were totally fine. We loved our seats. We've never sat there
No,
before.
you
We
can't get a
loved our
bad
seats.
seat.
Yeah, that's
That
true.
way.
That's what
I
Tom was
mean,
saying. It was really.
It's such a cool theater.
Yeah, the set for this is amazing.
Yeah.
Like 39
I saw some
Steps
pictures.
had nothing. You guys saw 39 Steps.
Yeah.
It was great. There was a different appeal with that. It was great with everything coming. But the set for this is amazing. It's, you know, a recreation of
this.
Butler's office. And we actually, Ames doesn't know this, but during the day we sit at Ben Butler's desk and get our picture taken. We call it butlering.
That's fine. Not my desk. Ben's desk.
We call it butlering. Like, we were wearing, you know, we're like, should we tell Jenna, the stage manager, like, we may have moved some papers around?
Did
You
you
know-
move the chair?
No, well, yeah, a little bit.
It was definitely not in the right
A
position.
little bit, yes. We were butlering, yes. And then the first couple nights, there are, was it your telegram or there's a,
No, it's a telegram he's reading to start the show.
yeah, there's a telegram on your desk, right? Telegram on Ben Butler's desk, and it was missing, and it was preset. Like, the stage managers are right on it. Like, they preset everything. They have it's like a military exercise, and people check it. And then poor Ames sits down, and it isn't there. So we're thinking maybe like some
Joe.
historical, you know, or Chris wasn't in the audience, so we definitely would have said it was
Yeah, I
him.
mean,
But
Chris,
that
please
somebody
report to the
was
office.
taking it and because all the paperwork looks when our photographer Jason Grow is doing our photography, Jason. And so Jason came and he's looking around the set and he sees all the historical documents and the newspapers and he said, "How did you get a hold of these? Like, how do you get a hold of these?" And I'm like, "The props people make them." Like I'm like, in youth acting workshop, we learned how to make like papers look old and make historical. I'm like, "You want to take the class? We can teach you." And so we think that maybe somebody was, pilfering the set. They wanted a souvenir from Ben Butler's office, and
Very cool.
For historical
So what are the dates that it's playing?
it's running through August 25th.
Okay.
Wednesday through Saturday at 7:30, and then Saturday and Sunday at 2. Now this actually, tomorrow, Sunday, the 11th, is the first talkback that we're going to be doing. So after the show, Ames and Doug and the other two actors in the show, Shane and David, they will be on stage and you'll be able to ask them questions after the show, which is really fun, and it's free. So if you come to see the show during the week, the show's about 2 hours, so if you come like a little after 4, you could just go in and
Do the talkback.
come to the talkback.
There you go.
And it's really fun. I think it'll be really interesting. And we've had standing ovations every night. And
Getting great press. I've been noticing it's been getting great press.
Thank you. And even reactions from the audience during, I don't know, where have you gotten the most reaction from, Ames, when you're...
Oh, every night it's slightly different, but then we're slightly different, I mean, we feed off of the audience, so... on what night did all those Ameses show up?
There's opening. That was Sunday's
opening.
opening.
Last Sunday.
When I get into the legal description of what I'm about to do, they were all in the know, and there was this cheer, that went up when I said a few specific words, and also Ben Butler didn't go to West Point. In fact, he applied for West Point and couldn't get in, and he hated West Point because of that. And whenever it was brought up, he resented it. And in the play, there's a couple of mentions like, "I didn't go to West Point," and they're laughing up there.
And your character went to West Point.
My character went to West Point.
Ooh, so is there friction?
Only because of superior abilities on my part as Ben Butler. No, he's yes, there's friction because of that.
Gotcha.
We always ask
I have animosity towards a certain restaurant that we did a bunch of press for, before it opened. We did videos. We shot the whole place of the inside. And the week that it opened, I tried to get a reservation for 7:00, and they told me that they didn't take reservations. I said, "No, you don't understand." I said, "I just spent probably like 5 hours editing and promoting the place. Probably put a couple $1,000s in your pocket of people that wouldn't have known about this place. Right. You didn't give me a reservation." So that's kind of why I make fun of certain places every once in a while. If you get what I'm talking about. So you always defend them. So I understand when you don't get into West Point, when the guy doesn't get into West Point, he holds a grudge over it. Yeah. All those years, I can identify with Ben Butler.
I knew that related to the Civil War.
You see, I had to pull it together. See, it's a big circle here. We're working with a big circle.
Yeah.
So how has your stay been so far on Cape Ann? Where are you guys staying?
Terrible spot.
I've never been here before, so it was a complete mystery, and it's still sort of unfolding before me, but I've had a lovely time. Where I'm staying in Lanesville is really nice, and the rocks are great, and the swimming's been great, and
We do have some nice rocks.
plenty of rocks.
Better than Maine. Better than Maine rocks.
Where my grandparents lived in Rhode Island was kind of the same thing, so rocks was not a problem. I don't lie on it. I'm too pale to lie on the beach.
I was going to say, yeah.
Just get in, get wet, go hide from the sun, for a little bit. I can't burn too much.
And of course, we're happy to have so many amazing people that open their homes
Of course.
to our actors, and they can stay there, and they're usually, gorgeous. You're staying at Liz
Neumeyer's house.
Liz Neumeyer's house in Lanesville. There's a neighbor of mine that, She's on the back shore and walking distance to Good Harbor.
Oh,
And you can, and an actor lives there for free. So it's really amazing.
Wonderful.
I'm going
Yeah,
for
yeah.
Very
yeah.
grateful.
You want to be an
for that.
actor?
Yeah, I wanna be
Yeah.
an actor.
But
They don't do porno
But the
over
other
there, Chris.
important note.
These are serious pieces. These aren't pornographic things they're doing over here.
I think we should bring some of that into theater.
Has there ever been nude, like a artistically done nude scene at Gloucester Stage? Has to have been back in the
It's
'70s.
got a long history.
Ben Butler after hours.
nothing
It'll be a
really.
nightmare.
50 Shades of Ben Butler.
Oh yeah.
If you want a nightmare, yes.
Butlering, God.
His Red Room office.
Yeah, right.
Love it. Come on, I'm writing right now. I got it. Give me the script.
The
Give me
untold
pen.
story of Ben Butler. There you
Maybe my
go.
wife never
But
That's good.
I know we were talking that how great the set is. It's really the set's amazing. The costumes are amazing.
You know what's really amazing?
Doug has a great beard. His beard looks great. When you
you put on the Civil War beard and then walk out in the everyday world, and people cross the street to avoid you.
I don't think it was that. I think it was the Dixie flag on the back of your car.
I'm a Union soldier.
Okay. Yeah.
But there's a lot of light moments in the play, and a lot of humor, and a lot of it's witty. It's really witty, and
Great writing.
really it's really a battle of wits when it comes down to Butler and Mallory, who is the slave that comes to him. It's really a battle of wits, and it's intelligent and it's fun.
Awesome.
So
It's one of the best scripts that I've ever had to work with, and I read it. I don't remember what year I did it first, but I was sent the script and read it and just poured through it instantly.
Yeah.
And then we sat around a table and read the play with 3 other actors and some producers and whatnot. And then they said, "Do you want to do it?" Yes, I want to do it. Because it's so smart. It's so witty. It's so smart. It's a good story.
Is it smart
too.
though?
Smart.
How about witty? Is it witty?
It's witty. It's actually witty and
Are there
smart.
any rocks? Are there any rocks?
There are. Yeah, so you'd think in my mouth sometimes I have rocks in it.
there's some sherry in
there
it.
you
So there's sherry.
Well, thank you
Speaking of that,
guys.
there's
Thank
beer
you.
and wine. They serve
They
beer
serve
and
beer.
wine,
We be remiss
Yes.
to not mention that there is alcohol being
Yes.
served, and it's dark in the corners of the thing. So
Yes.
for our alcoholic friends,
Yeah.
you can tell your wife or significant other that you're going to the Gloucester stage to see a play, but really you can just sit in the back corner and pound beer.
And Chris tried it out, so he knows.
And I tried
Chris
it.
tried it out.
And I have one
gotta
other
go.
thing related.
Hold on, one more thing.
I'm sorry, one more thing related to Weber Grills.
Yeah.
Oh my
I
God.
did
Always comes
I did
back to
Macbeth at the Wilma Theater with an actor named Michael Rudko, and he lives in Greenwich Village in a garden apartment, and he has like 20 vintage Weber grills. I was wondering if you knew the dude.
My kind of guy.
He's also a bourbon collector, so he's got a collection.
See,
of
I knew.
Joey got a new best
Look
friend.
at
He's
Joe.
Michael Rudko. He's
You
on
have to
Facebook.
look
My
for him.
my nipples just got hard. My nipples just got hard.
But are they smart and witty?
There you go.
We'll put
All
that in
right,
50 Shades.
Ben.
And these
Ben Butler, thank you
these
guys for
actors are
coming.
amazing.
I'm sure they're fantastic. Thank you guys for
Come
coming
see
in.
us.
We're gonna send everybody there. Thank
Yes.
you, Heidi.
Come see
Thank
us.
you
very
so
much.
All
much.
right.
All right,
Thank you.
awesome. That was great. They're great.
Thank you.
Love them.
Hey, we'll
I want to go
you
see that one.
next week.
They're terrific.
I want to
It-
see.
it's
Why don't
fun.
you say hang out with us?
All right, a
We got
couple
we
minutes.
got a few more topics.
All right, a couple
We've
minutes.
been going on
Chris,
for 2 hours.
listen, a few more topics. Hey, do you have any questions?
No, well, I just want to relay a couple comments here that Jim says he would pay for you to be in the dunk tank.
The duct tape, yeah,
Chris, sit right there and get
Like,
closer
get
so
that
people can see your
rearranged.
face.
And Jim
So
also says
we
he
went to-
remembers you guys. You brought a big grill to Joey's.
Yeah, the ranch kettle,
Yeah.
the Weber
You
ranch.
guys maybe want to shift.
Yeah,
a
get
little
on
bit
in the
over.
get in the shot
There
there.
we go.
Alex.
Oh, perfect.
So we went to Chris and I went to Gumbati's, the new
Oh, I
the
saw the
restaurant. It's
picture.
been actually open for probably 6 months.
Oh, in Browns Mall?
Browns Mall.
Yeah, how was
Oh,
that?
the Gumbati.
So for one reason or another, we hadn't gone there yet because, as we know, Gloucester's filthy with unbelievable breakfast places. But we went. Yeah. We sat. The sign outside has a bunch of very interesting specials. I put a picture of it on the blog. We went in, and the lady says, on the sign it says Gloucester's best home fries. Now, to stake that claim in a city that is filthy with incredible breakfast joints is a huge claim.
It's a huge claim.
And that's exactly what I said to the waitress when she came over to take our order.
Who was the owner?
Was she one of the owners?
Yeah, the husband and wife.
The husband and wife.
Yeah, she was the wife.
And we got our breakfast, and I will tell you, it was...
Seriously? The best?
No, not the best. Okay. But it's right up there with...
It's okay for them to use that slogan. I mean, they
were
good.
Yeah, they were excellent.
Yeah.
They were excellent. The breakfast was excellent.
Yeah.
If you gave me 5 of the 10 best breakfast joints in town, right now people ask me what's the breakfast place in town. I can't pinpoint one.
It's hard.
I really can't.
Yeah.
But I feel that there's. I'm not going to name them either. But I feel like there's 5 of the top echelon. And I would put them in that top echelon.
Wow.
You have to go visit them.
Wow.
Yeah, you have to.
Yeah, I mean, it was really good. Home baked goods, like Mom's Kitchen.
Oh, good.
But
they're located where again?
In the middle of Browns Mall.
Browns Mall.
Across
Right
from
downtown.
Yeah, right downtown.
Yeah,
Was it busy? I hope it was busy.
Yeah, it was
it's kind
good.
of it's a little tucked in there.
No, it was a good crowd. Yeah.
Kim, I want to talk about the boy that was impaled by the umbrella on Good Harbor Beach yesterday. I got to take care of something downstairs.
Okay.
I want you to take this topic.
Okay. Well, did
Chris,
you guys
sit
read
down.
about that?
I did see that.
It was on the news, and it was a boy that was on the beach, and a flying umbrella went through his arm. So
That must have been going at some rate of speed.
right? Well, they are dangerous. I mean,
Yeah.
I've seen them cut loose like that, and if the wind
It's very
is strong,
dangerous. Yeah.
So the news while I was driving to and from Boston yesterday was like, boy impaled in Gloucester, but it was his arm. So you think of it impaled, you think of like
Through his chest.
right through his chest or something, but it went through his arm. And this is one thing I didn't understand: the beachgoers removed the umbrella before the EMTs got there, and then he was taken to
So it wasn't the
Beverly Hospital.
EMTs that...
Yeah, he was taken to Beverly Hospital.
It's possible the people who did that might have known what they
Might
were
have
doing.
known what they were doing, but it just seems like...
I guess I heard an interview with a lifeguard who said that by the time they got there was a registered nurse that was attending to him, so they didn't.
Oh, so then she knew what to do.
Maybe,
then.
yeah.
Oh,
Like in the movies, they don't pull it out.
They don't. Yeah, you don't.
Yeah, I know that from the movies. Everything
So
I
you
know
don't
about
know
medical is from the movies or
movies.
TV.
Or man.
MASH or WebMD.
Right.
But I
What would
do
end
know
up
that's right.
WebMD?
Yeah. So did the lifeguard have any other information? No, that was it. Yeah. So, anyways, that's.
But he's recovering.
Right, he's recovering in Beverly Hospital.
I thought it was interesting how that story evolved, because what I was hearing, at first it was a man was, airlifted from the Good Harbor Beach or something, because some people were wondering about the helicopter that was floating around yesterday, and then it was a man got impaled, and then it was a boy got impaled, but he's okay. The way the story evolved.
It was a shark
And then it
attack.
was a shark
Yeah,
attack.
Got impaled by a shark.
A shark
Sand
jumped
shark.
out of the ocean and impaled
Then
himself in
it
his
was a piping plover
Yes.
went rogue and did a kamikaze right into his arm.
It probably was a plover, but they're hiding that.
Yeah, they're hiding.
Yeah.
You know
It's
what? You're right.
Yeah.
They
That's
used
what-
the umbrella to hide the
Right.
piping
The
plover
plover.
that was in
Because
his
the
arm.
plover, they know the plover.
It's interesting that you said that, because I read a story the other day where it said they kept talking about a white shark, and I'm like, a white shark? Is that the same as a great white shark? And it was.
Was it albino?
Yeah, eventually at the end of the story they called it a great white shark, but I was like,
Oh,
they're
and
trying
they
to
just called
soft-
it a white shark.
Yeah, they're trying to soft pedal
Well,
that there was a shark there.
Well, I hope the boy's okay.
Yeah.
And is it a Gloucester boy? Do we know, or
It happened at Good Harbor Beach. I do not know.
Or an
if it
out of
was
towner.
a out-of-towner or not.
I have I wanted to talk about my new best friends.
Joe, this is our show. You haven't been at this particular show at all today.
Yeah, what do we want to talk about
it's
next,
our
Chris?
topics, Joe.
Okay, let's talk about how the official Good Morning Gloucester dog masturbates and has a foot fetish. Can we talk about
Why don't
Bo?
you cover that?
Can we talk about?
I
No,
gotta
no,
make
you can't leave
I
because
gotta
you're the one
make
that
sure my
said.
son's not sinking.
No, you just said.
Hey, Brad.
I have it under authority that they have to stop Bo from doing certain acts because he likes to touch his winky.
Well, he's a little puppy, you know?
He plays with his winky all the time, and every time I go in the house, he's licking everybody's toes.
So what's the relationship? He's become the official GMG dog. So is there a relationship between that designation and his behavior?
Yeah.
Well, his owner.
Oh,
let's talk,
that's
first
a
of
big
all.
Influence,
Yeah, I think that. I think
Yeah.
they should change the name of the dog from Bo to Rex. Rex Ryan with Rex Ryan's sick foot fetish. Former. Well, you wouldn't be.
Coach.
It's a
Coach
sports
of the
thing.
Jets?
Sports reference.
Jets?
Old former
Giants?
Jets coach.
Jets.
Former
Jets.
Jets coach.
Jets.
Don't forget to
It was a New York
talk
team.
about our beautiful Cecropia moth cocoons.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
So we got some more deadly moths that Kim has been breeding, mutant moths that Kim has been breeding. She has an army of these moths that she's going to unleash on the world.
30 of them altogether.
They're this big. When they come out, they're this big.
Yeah, they're Cecropia moth. Here, I'm going to put these up in front of the camera.
Yes. I was
Don't-
gonna suggest
don't.
that.
Yeah.
Be
so
careful.
What's going to happen?
Kim, don't mess up the.
Don't
Don't
be
mess
afraid
it
if
up.
there's children watching. Cover your eyes because it's a little scary.
Yeah, so there's 3 of them, and they're all different colors.
I'm only half kidding.
These are the mutant moths that Kim is
Are they
breeding
about the same age?
to take over the world.
I'm worried.
I'd be worried.
Okay.
Am I in the right spot?
A little further back. Just
Is it Is that finding a focus on
Is
that?
it focusing?
Yep. Yep.
That's amazing.
That's amazing. So they're in here, in their little winter
So for people that don't know, that are listening to the podcast right now and that are not on the Facebook live feed, Kim was holding those up for the camera, so you can.
Yeah.
I'll put a link to the live feed so you can see all the shenanigans that happens behind the scenes. I hope that when Heidi came in, because we didn't tell her they were taping live, that she didn't say anything inappropriate.
We did tell
We did
her.
tell her.
Yeah, they did tell me,
Alright.
but I did say something anyway. You know,
course you did.
Yeah.
Randy O'Neill was here. I couldn't let that pass.
I hope you told her yes. You didn't directly tell her.
So last
Yes,
week
I did.
Look, just tell the viewers. Last week we saw the caterpillar version of this. That's why we're looking at the
Right.
cocoon
The
version.
deadly
Right,
mutant
the deadly-
caterpillar.
And they'll stay in this cocoon for all through the winter, and then they'll emerge next June. And
That's when
so
she launches her strike.
Yeah.
That's when she launches her strike. Is that it?
Back to Joey's
Okay.
topics.
One more. Well, I have one more topic, and I can't not talk about this because I'm obsessed. I'm officially obsessed with this jigsaw puzzle.
Oh, you
My friends from ThatcherEllery.com.
I saw that with beautiful image.
It's a New Yorker magazine of a guy almost like a 1950s thing, painting a big lobster on the side of a building.
Oh.
And it's a jigsaw puzzle.
That's cool.
The thing about jigsaw puzzles, I haven't done one for a long time, but when you get one that has just the right amount of hardness, difficulty,
Yeah,
it's fun.
Yeah.
it's fun.
You know, they can be frustrating if you have one that's like it's all one shade and you're trying to figure it out. You know what I mean? This has enough different things happening in the image. But this is something I would recommend to families that because it brings families together.
A lot of families.
a lot
I
of
know a lot
families
of
do
people that
jigsaw.
do jigsaw
I
puzzles.
mean, it's a real
Yeah.
summertime thing to do.
Yeah.
It's a
Right,
real
so I
easy
haven't
one.
done one forever, and I'm sitting here, and me and the kids are doing it. Me and Kate do it. We work on it whenever we have little bits of time, which isn't often, but it's so fun. So
You just leave it out on a table.
we have it on the big table, our big table, and we walk by.
Working on a puzzle, but together with the kids or
With my ADHD, is that what you're talking about?
Yeah, pretty
I don't have the patience to sit down for puzzles. Is that what you're insinuating?
I believe in you, Joe.
Thank you. Thank you.
believe in you.
Well, the problem is, I have to be somewhere at a certain time, and I'm doing it, and I get on a little bit of a roll, and then I lose track of time, and I'm like, oh fuck, I have to get ready to go.
Yeah.
But to do it with the kids or the family, that's
Yeah.
always a fun.
No, it's a great time. So anyway, okay, Chris left, so we don't have out music.
Yeah.
Oh God.
He's failed
How
me.
could he?
He has failed me in so many ways today.
He did get you home.
Everyone going to the block party tonight?
Yeah, we talked about the block party. Yeah, block party tonight.
We'll be in front of the Sargent house doing the Little Prince
There you go.
Okay, very
with
All
all the
right.
kids.
GloucesterCast 352 is in the books. I'll take care of that.
Yep.